In the last class, we have seen osmosis, diffusion, the difference between osmosis and diffusion, and we have demonstrated the process of conduction of water in plants and rate of water absorption by plants. Now, in this section, we will be doing with the absorption of the minerals. Now, the dissolved minerals like potassium, calcium, nitrogen, and magnesium is absorbed by the roots by two processes, active transport and diffusion. Now you can see the figure 1.7. Through this you can see the process of active transport and how the movement of the material take place. The root hair absorbs both water and minerals from the soil. Water is absorbed by osmosis as the concentration of water is higher in the soil. However, the concentration of mineral is more inside the root hair than in the soil. Now, stilt root hair can absorb them by a process called active transport. It is a process by which molecules of minerals move from an area of their low concentration to an area of their high concentration, utilizing energy. Plants also absorb minerals by the process of diffusion. Plants use diffusion only when the mineral concentration is higher in the soil than in the root hair. However, diffusion is not an usual case since concentration of mineral is generally higher in the root hair. Now, transport of water and minerals take place in the plants. Root hair absorb water from the soil by the process of osmosis and minerals by the process of active transport. Water and minerals are transported from the root to all parts of the plant by the process. Two processes which are mainly responsible for this are root pressure and ascent of sap. Now, what is root pressure? The pressure developed in the root due to continuous inflow of water is called root pressure. Root pressure will appear only when the rate of absorption is higher than the rate of transpiration. As the water along with minerals move further upward through the xylem of the cell towards the leaf, due to transpiration which exerts a pull from above, we see this upward movement of sap that contains water and minerals from the root towards the other parts of the plant, and this movement of the water of sap is known as ascent of sap. We can demonstrate root pressure in a plant. You can see this figure. We take a potted herbaceous plant. We cut off the stem a few centimeters below the soil level, you can see. Then we fix long and narrow glass tube to the cut end of the stump with the help of the rubber tubing. You can see the rubber tubing. We pour a little colored water in the glass tube and mark its level. We connect this to the manometer and then we keep the whole setup in cool and shady place for some time. What do you observe? The level of the colored water rises. There is also a rise in the level of mercury of the manometer. Children, why did this happen? This happened due to the upward movement of the sap. This demonstrates the phenomenon of the root pressure. Now, what is the importance of water for plant? Water which is absorbed by the root perform three main functions. First is your transportation. It helps in the transport of minerals and other substances from one part of the plant to another. Food production by the process of photosynthesis using sunlight, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. Also, it has a cooling effect due to evaporation of water that take place from the leaf surface, which cools the plant. Now next is your transpiration. You can see figure 1.8. You can see loss of water as water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. Now what is transpiration? The loss of water in the form of water vapor through the stomata of leaves and other aerial parts of the plant is called transpiration. It always takes place against the force of gravity. When the water is lost through the leaf, a suction force is created which pulls up water from the xylem of the roots to the stem and then to the leaves. This is called transpiration pull. If the plant loses more water, resulting in the leaves and stem of the flowers, stem and also the flowers to droop, this process is called wilting. Now we have one activity to demonstrate the transpiration in plants. For this we need a small potted plant and a big glass jar. We take the potted plant, cover it with the glass jar and place it in sun for few hours. After some hours, when we observe, we see small droplets of water on the inner wall of the jar. So from this we conclude that water drops are released by the plant through transpiration. There are several factors which affect the rate of transpiration, like the time of the day. During daytime the leaves are open and thus more transpiration take place. Temperature, when the temperature is higher, the rate of transpiration is faster. So the rate of transpiration, you see, it is fast on hot days as compared to the cold days. It depends on humidity. Transpiration is low on a humid day as the air contains a lot of moisture. Wind increases the rate of transpiration as the water evaporates faster from the leaves. Light also increases the rate of transpiration as light causes the stomata to open. There are two importance of transpiration. The first is your cooling effect. It produces a cooling effect due to evaporation of the water from the surface of the leaves. And for this reason, the plants are able to survive even on the hot, sunny days. For transportation of the food, if excess water is not evaporated, the cell sap will dilute and further absorption of water along with minerals will not take place. Thus, transpiration helps in the transport of water and minerals from the soil to the leaves. That's all for this class. Very soon we will be doing the question answer. So please go through the previous part that has been taught. Thank you and have a nice day.